Good morning. I decided to pull the camera out right now in this moment because I told you guys I wanted to share all of this first time homeowner stuff. And, a lot of it has been fun stuff. Like, ooh, I get to paint and drill holes in the walls. This is another very real thing. So we got snow down here in North Carolina, which is very rare, and it's also rare that we actually get the amount that we did and that the temperature dropped as low as it did. I think last night it was supposed to have dropped down to like 16 degrees at one point, and everything was normal and fine all weekend. And then I woke up this morning, and actually what happened first was I went to pee, flushed the toilet, and like the toilet flushed, but I didn't hear the tank refilling with water, and I was like, uh-oh. Went to turn on the faucet, nothing. So, my pipes are frozen, which is so crazy, and I know now, I've learned after the fact, that I should have last night left the water trickling to keep the water flowing to prevent it from freezing in the first place. But I really just didn't even think that that was going to be an issue. I grew up in the Northeast. My parents have lived in their house for like 25 years now, and their house was built in the 60s. And we never had to do anything like that. I mean, it would get cold all the time. Every winter, it'd be freezing. We'd get snow, ice, all the things. There'd be blizzards where we wouldn't have power for over a week at a time. Pipes never froze. So I don't know, I guess I didn't really take that seriously or think anything of it, that it would be an issue. I don't know. But I have learned that in the South, or just in places where the temperatures don't usually get that cold, I guess the pipes are just different, or they're not insulated as well. I don't really know, but yeah, my pipes froze, and I called my mom, and she was like, oh my God, I've never experienced that happen before. I don't really know what to do. And I did a lot of Googling, watched a bunch of YouTube videos. Everything was kind of telling me the same thing. So I shut my water off, like my main water supply. And then it really was just in the two bathrooms that the pipes under the sink felt cold. So I was heating them up with my hair dryer. I've left the cabinet doors open now to get some more airflow in there. And then luckily, if you saw my last vlog, I had a plumber come out here last week to do some work in the house, change my kitchen sink and some of the fixtures in my bathroom. So I was on the phone with him and kind of ran through everything. I was like, I just want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly and that there isn't anything else that I should be doing. I still feel a little nervous, and I'm kind of like holding my breath a bit, but he was putting my mind at ease. He told me everything should be perfectly fine. I can turn the water back on, and he told me to just turn a faucet on just like a quarter of the way so that as the pipes thaw, the water can kind of start trickling out. But thank God, luckily, it's Monday, so I'm home all day today. So I am just gonna keep an eye on everything, be on the lookout for any kind of leaks or anything like that, because that's what makes me nervous. Once you start doing research online, then of course you're getting like worst case scenarios, and I know that like pipes can burst, and then you can have all of this water damage, but I don't know. I talked to the plumber. He told me not to panic. I'm following his instructions, and I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed. And I think the temperature's supposed to go back up to like the 40s later this afternoon. So hopefully within the next few hours, these pipes will unfreeze. Wait, I hear the water. Okay, girl. Yeah, okay. The new sofa bed for the office slash guest room arrived actually several days ago. But I actually had been using my carpet shampooer because I wanted to make sure that the carpet was nice and clean up here before I put it up here, obviously. And I knew I was going to have to like open the box up and carry up each piece one at a time because the box was huge and very, very heavy. So I finally got around to doing it. Now this has to like fluff up over the next 72 hours. So, you know, it's looking a little crumpled because it was wrapped up super tight. This is going to be perfect because this will be the size of it, and then these are the arms, and these two just stack on top of each other. So that's all the space it's going to take up when it's in its couch form. And then you just pull the top piece down, and you can have either two twin size mattresses or you can lay them together and it makes a queen size. Oh, and update. Everything is good and working like normal. And we didn't have any leaks or pipe bursts. Hey, good morning. I look insane. This whole water situation has been so annoying. The pipes thawed yesterday. Everything seemed to be good and fine. I was like, hallelujah. We're in good shape. The temperature did drop back down really low again last night, so I left the faucet trickling. And who knows if it would have froze again last night, but I was like, let me not even risk it. I went to go take a shower last night before bed, and I noticed that the water had a really, really strong metallic scent. And I could literally see at the bottom of the tub, it had like an orangey tint to it. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. But I didn't really think too much of it because I was like, well, maybe with like, you know, it freezing and then thawing, maybe there was just some like remnants from the pipes that got, I don't know, whatever. Like the sediment, I don't know. There is a water filtration system and a water softener. But then this morning I woke up and I saw like inside the sink that I had left the faucet trickling had like an orange tint. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And the water still had like the really strong metallic scent. I even did a load of laundry last night. And even like as the washing machine was running, I could just smell in the hallway this metallic-y iron scent. So I was like, let me go over to where the water softener is and make sure like everything seems like it's running okay before I like, reach back out to the plumber and whatever. And my water softener was making this weird noise. It had this error message on it and I was like, oh, great. So I spent all morning doing a bunch of research, trying to figure out like what's wrong with it, how do I fix this. I ended up just unplugging it for a few minutes, then plugging it back in, and fingers crossed, that seemed to have done the trick. Like, I think maybe something just got kind of, like, stuck, and it probably was for me yesterday unplugging everything, because I didn't, like, touch anything, so nothing should be messed up. I don't know, but it was just very stressful, and I was like, oh, God, I hope, like, something's not messed up now. I'm gonna have the plumber come back, and it's, like, you know, just, it's a lot of money. Like, in the long run, I know I'm going to be saving money, and it's like all the money you're spending is, you know, like, you're building equity and all of those things, versus when you're renting. But up front, between all of everything you have to pay for the closing costs and the down payment to get the house in the first place, and then moving expenses, new furniture, everything, it's just like so much money, and I'm like, oh my God. And like the plumber was just here doing stuff, so like I really don't need something else to like need fixing. So I don't know, and it was just freaking me out because it was like making these weird noises, and I don't, you know, I'm not a plumber, I don't know what is going on. I'm learning though, and I'm grateful to live in the age of the internet. There's so many helpful videos on YouTube specifically. And it's just funny how, like, literally anything you could possibly imagine, there's probably a video on YouTube teaching you and explaining it to you. I mean, on one hand, it's like, it's good because I'm learning so much. And that's how I am as a person. I'm a curious person. I like to learn. I like to understand how things work so that I can like fix things myself when possible. So it's all been like a good learning experience, but it's also like my stress levels are so heightened because I'm like kind of panicking. I don't know. I mean, it's not anything that's a big deal, you know. It's fine. But I think I was just smelling the water now, and I'm pretty sure the metallic smell is gone. So hopefully that means the water softener is working again and everything is good. I'm gonna go and check it again before I head out just to make sure it still seems to be working properly and doesn't have that error code anymore. Because I don't know at what point that popped up yesterday, because it wasn't immediately after I plugged everything back in. It had to have happened at some point shortly before I went to take my shower last night. So, I don't know. I'm just going to keep checking on it, and then we'll see if I need the plumber to come out. I will do that. And it's supposed to be up in the 50s today, so I won't have to deal with this cold stuff anymore, hopefully. My plan for today is I'm going to go to Pilates, and then I'm going to have about 3 hours until my first client. So I'm going to run some errands, go to the store. I'm going to get some more hair color for my hair because if you saw in my last vlog, I did a toner after doing my keratin treatment because the keratin treatment always makes my hair like super red, especially on the ends. And the toner worked a little bit, but it didn't fully cover, which I kind of figured because the keratin treatment like seals down your cuticle, so it makes it hard then for like color to penetrate it. So I'm gonna get a different type of color, something that's gonna be a little bit stronger, so that way I can even it all out, because I just hate when my hair is uneven and it's like faded in some spots, and then I have like those red tones that poke through. Like, ugh, it just makes it look like not, I don't know, it just makes it look blah to me. So I'm gonna get ready really quick, and then I will see you once I'm at the salon. Someone is definitely getting a keratin treatment or perm or lash lift or something, because I can smell it. As soon as I walked into the building, I was like, ooh, that permy smell. I have just under 2 hours until my first client, so that should be plenty of time to do what I have to do. But I just came from Salon Centric. One of these boxes actually is for one of my clients, but this is gonna be for my hair because the last time I just did Red Contriti Q and I did it on my hair wet, and I also only had 1 ounce of color, so I don't know if my hair, like every single strand got like fully saturated the way it should. So what I'm gonna do this time around is I'm gonna do L'Oreal Dia, which is still a demi-permanent, but it's an alkaline demi and it's cream based. So this should penetrate a little bit better without messing up the keratin treatment. But yeah, I mean, you can see how this is like looking kind of light and faded, and it's definitely a lot warmer than the top. Because the top here, all of this is hair that I've only ever done glosses on, whereas this down here is several years old and it's been bleached a couple times and colored and all different things. That's why this gets so red and fades, whereas all of this stays pretty neutral and just very true to my natural color. So I'm gonna do this on my hair dry so that I have like extra guarantee that it'll really take too. So I got 3N, which is like a very dark brown. And then after I rinse that out, I'm gonna layer the gloss on top just to like really ensure that it's getting fully covered, and also just like add more shine back to it, and really make sure it's like nice and dark, because I don't know, guys. I think my days of changing my hair color and going lighter and doing different things, like I might at some point add a little bit of highlights to my hair and do like a more dimensional brunette, but I think my days of like playing around with blonde and red and all of those other colors, I feel like those are over. Until I get to a point where my hair starts going gray. But like right now, I just really love my natural color. It is, I think, the most flattering on me. And I don't know, there's just something about long, healthy, dark hair that is just so good and so timeless to me. And I'm also tired. I know I'm like kind of fussing with it now because of doing the keratin treatment and it being all like warm and stuff. But generally, when my hair is just dark and it, you know, I leave it natural, I don't have to do anything to it. Like it just is what it is. It stays like that. It's easy. Whenever I have highlights or balayage or it's blonde or red when I had it copper, it is so difficult to maintain like the perfect tone. And maybe like me being a hairstylist and having access to products and being able to do it myself all the time, I feel like I constantly would be refreshing it and toning it, and it just like never would stay exactly how I wanted it to. And it's just very frustrating. So I'm just done with that. I'm done with trying to fight it. I love the dark, and I feel like the darker the better. So this is gonna be my color combination. Oh, did I say what shade this is? This is 2ABN Cool Ebony. So it's like a nice blue base, cool tone, soft black. And then I'm gonna use this after I finish the color. I love Color Wow as a brand. So far, I've only used a handful of their products, but everything I've tried, I love. Like, it's so good. And I saw that they carry this in Salon Centric now, so I wanted to try this. This is the Color Wow Raise the Roots Thicken and Lift Spray. The cure for flat hair. Adds height and volume without dulling color. And it says you can just style your hair however, with heat, without heat, doesn't matter. And you can put it on damp hair or even on dry hair to add instant lift and shape. And I love the sound of that. I just finished my clients and my hair is now pretty dry. It's a little damp in the back underneath, but it's dry enough for the most part. And yeah, this is what I wanted. So now let's try the Color Wow product. Spray onto damp hair, concentrating application at the roots, style as desired, or use on dry hair for instant lift and shape. So I always like to spray a new product on the back of my hand first, just so I kind of like know what to expect. Ooh, it smells so good. And it's a very familiar, oh my God, what is that? It smells like a product that I used to use when I was like in middle school. Garnier Fructis Mousse, maybe? Oh my God, it's like a very nostalgic scent. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so yeah, and it literally just dries to completely weightless. It doesn't feel like anything. So, okay, that's good to know. Because you never know if it's gonna like be thick. I don't want to be surprised, especially when I'm spraying it like right onto clean hair. Okay, well, just do one side. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. You definitely can see a little bit of a difference. I wish it was a little more specific about like how much you should spray, but I guess because it's weightless, you can't really put too much, I suppose. Just gives a little more volume compared to this side. Like even if I try to like zhuzh this up, it just like falls right back flat. So this just gives it a little oomph without, like, it literally does not feel like I sprayed anything in my hair. That's kind of crazy. Like once it dries, it feels like absolutely nothing. I'm definitely curious to try it on a day when I have my hair blown out smooth too. Anyway, I already cleaned everything up, so I am just gonna head home. It feels really good to be done with work and get to drive home while it's still light out. Just making me even more excited for spring. Good morning. You already know the drill. Guess where I'm going? Pilates. Tonight I am meeting up with a friend at this bar downtown. They are doing an album release party for J. Cole's new album, which I'm gonna be so honest, I do like J. Cole. I like his music, but I'm not a huge fan of his, and I didn't even know he had a new album coming out. And I feel like it'll be good to socialize a little bit because I honestly have not done any socializing at all since December, because I've just been so focused on the move and everything. So I'm ready to put on some makeup, go out, feel cute, have a fun night. So yeah, that is my plan for the day. Oh, and also last night I watched Heated Rivalry. And I was a little late to get on the bandwagon. So many people were raving about that show, and I was like, I don't know. Like, it's about hockey players. Like, I hate men. Respectfully. Okay, I get it. I understand the hype. I understand why everyone loves the show. I literally binged the whole thing. I mean, there's only 6 episodes, but I binged the whole thing. It is so good, and I just can't stop thinking about it. What is it with a Russian accent that is so hot? If you haven't watched the show yet, highly recommend. Don't watch it with any kids anywhere nearby. It's very sexual, but also like really sweet and ends up being like very romantic and cute, and like I got a little teary-eyed at some parts, I'm not gonna lie. Comment down below, let me know if you've watched the show and what do you think about it. And then of course I had to do a deep dive, as I always do, and like then look up interviews of the actors from the show, because then I was so curious to see what are they like for real. What did their accents sound like? They're just so cute, which makes me love the show even more. So yeah, let me know if you watched it. But I will see you when I get back from work, and we'll do some makeup together. I feel like with the way that I look right now and the fact that it's pitch black outside, it feels like it's super late and I should be getting ready for bed, but it's really only like 6:30. One of the many reasons why I hate winter and I am so excited for summer, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am still excited to go out, but I was really looking forward to it all week and this morning, and then as soon as the sun sets, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, it's dark and cold out, and even though it's still so early, it just feels to me like it's late. Especially when it's cold and it's dark, it's like you just want to be like warm and cozy and stay home. At least that's how I feel. So I always have a hard time making plans in the evening, especially during the week in the wintertime. But I am looking forward to this. I told myself I was doing this, so we're gonna have a good time. And I wanted to chat a little bit with you guys because it's been a while since I have talked about the makeup products that I have been enjoying. Although most of it is kind of the same stuff I've been using for a while, but there's a couple new things in there. And I also just wanted to have a little chat because I'm a little bit behind, or no, I'm not behind, I'm ahead with my videos. So the last video in my timeline, the last video I posted was the video where I like officially announced and talked about the fact that I am single. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who commented. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant to talk about it because I was fully prepared to have some like just rude, snarky, like nasty, mean comments, you know, like real, I don't know. But everyone was really so sweet, and it's nice to know that so many people could relate to what I'm going through right now and just the phase of life that I'm in right now. And I think that's great because, I don't know, like I'm really happy and I'm very excited about where I am in life right now, but I know that there's definitely aspects to it that can be hard. So knowing that you aren't alone, no matter what you're going through in life, that's always a good feeling to have somebody that you can relate to. So I'm so happy and honored that I have a platform where I can just like stand in my bathroom and talk to a camera and share what's going on in my life. And, you know, and we can like motivate each other and inspire and excite each other. And it's so great. But there was one comment in particular that I read. She was saying how she recently went through a breakup too, and now you're enjoying being single and having like the freedom, but it's hard because a lot of your friends right now are in that phase of life where they're all married or getting married, having kids, and being single can be hard because you feel alone compared to all of your friends. And that is something that I can definitely relate to. But real quick, I applied the Say Super, God, I've been using this stuff for years and I can never remember the actual name of it. Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow. I always use this as a base whenever I'm doing like full makeup because it just makes your skin so glowy and beautiful. It also makes your skin nice and smooth so that all of the products you put on top just go on really nicely. Then I'm going to do a little color correcting with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish Under Eye Corrector. This stuff works really well. I like to use this even on like no makeup days if I just need to look a little more awake. And then it's good when I am wearing makeup because then I don't have to do as much under eye concealer. And then this also I've been using for a while now, the Cover FX Total Cover Cream Foundation. I have T1 and M2 because T1 is my summer shade, but in the winter months, I like to use M2 in the center of my face, and then I'll use the T1 on the outside to like kind of bronze, so that way my face doesn't look super flat, because I also don't like to do a whole lot of like bronzer and contour and that kind of stuff, so it's just like a natural way to add a little dimension to the face. And I just take a little bit on a flat kabuki brush and I just tap it and push it into my skin so that I get a nice thin layer of it. And then if there's any spots where I need a little more coverage, I'll just like spot conceal those areas. But I try to keep a nice light layer everywhere else, because I think the finish of this stuff is really beautiful, but I could totally see it being cakey if you like swiped on a really thick layer of it. And it's just like so comfortable. It doesn't feel like there's anything on my face. So this has been my go-to. I can't even remember, honestly, the last time I wore a regular liquid foundation. But anyway, it's been tough because, you know, I'm gonna be turning 34 actually in a few months. And I talked about this in that other video, but I've like very comfortably come to terms with the fact that I don't have an interest in having children. So that definitely for me helps because I don't have that pressure of like, ooh, your biological clock is ticking, you know? But for me, yeah, a lot of my friends that are within my same age range either have kids or they're married or in a serious relationship and living with their partner. This is the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, by the way. If you want to make plans with your friends, but they're like, oh, I have to find someone to watch my kid, or oh, I already have plans with my husband, or I don't know, it's just different when you're just like in a different place in life, you know? Your priorities are different. The things that you find enjoyable might be different. And that's tough. And I oftentimes will find myself being the third wheel, or in my case, my one like main group of friends down here, I'm the seventh wheel. And like, I love their husbands. I really do. But, you know, when you're like out to dinner with everybody and like the couples are sharing their entrees and splitting everything, and then you're just like by yourself, and then everybody's splitting up the bill, and you're like, just me. And now I'm doing a cream highlight and blush in one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. It completely faded off the packaging. I've also had this for a long time, but it's like the, I don't know, highlight wand or something like that. But it's very pretty on its own, especially like a lighter day. Like if I'm just going to work, I'll just use this by itself. But when I'm doing full makeup, I like to use this more as just a base, and then I'll put a powder blush on top to really make it pop. And then this is new. I actually just got this like a week ago or so. The NYX Buttermelt Blush in the shade My Butta Half. These are so pigmented and like buttery and amazing. And I love this Barbie pink color. It's so cute. But yeah, it is very pigmented, like I said, so be careful. But I'm just gonna put that on top. And then this too, I'm just gonna like dust a little bit of this over my eye area. I don't know, it just like adds, it looks like so like whimsical, having a little like flushy pink around your eye area. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of loose powder. This is just a Pixie powder. I'm gonna just put a little bit of that just like right there under my eye. So I'm using like kind of a smaller sized brush. And I'm gonna tap that on that little area where you get like that little fold. And then for my eyes, I'm gonna do like a little flick of brown eyeliner. But yeah, so being the seventh wheel, you know, it's not always a great feeling, but I will say communication is the best thing ever. So your friends that are in different phases of life, just be honest with them, communicate with them, because they probably are not thinking like I always have to remind myself of that. Like everyone is living in their own reality where they are the center of their universe. So especially if you are not their child or their spouse, they probably are not necessarily thinking that much or like realizing what's going on in your mind or how certain things are affecting you, you know? So let them know, like, hey, love your family, love your kids, love your husband, so happy for you, but because I'm not in the same phase of life as you right now, it makes me feel kind of lonely to like be around your family all the time. Like, it would be nice if we could just have some one-on-one girl time. Or if, like, that's just not an option for them, then it's okay to take a step back. And I think that friendships, like especially true friendships, have phases. I think about some of my closest friends that I know, like I can confidently say, will always be a part of my life. Doesn't matter how long it's been since we've talked. I could call them at any moment and they will be there for me if I need them, and vice versa. We might not talk on a daily basis. We might not be as close currently as we were at a different point in life. That doesn't mean that we won't be that close again. It doesn't mean that we're not friends anymore. It doesn't mean that anything happened or there's any beef or, like, it's just, we're in different phases. One of my best friends, Julia, we had a podcast together. I know a lot of you guys listen to it and know who she is. She was always my single friend. We were so close from like the day that we met. We instantly clicked and I just knew this is going to be one of my forever friends. Like, this isn't just a temporary, like, oh, we're just friends while we're in cosmetology school and then we'll probably never speak again. Like, no, this is my bitch for life. I knew it. And we were super, super close at a certain point because we were in the same phase of life. And then we ended up moving like 1,000 miles away from each other. That was hard, having the distance. And now she's engaged and has a baby. And she's just in a completely different place in her life. And we check in with each other every once in a while, but I couldn't tell you what she does on a day-to-day basis. I couldn't tell you what she's up to right now. We don't talk every single day. In fact, most months go by and like we don't speak to each other. I am going to her wedding though in a couple months, which I am so excited about. It's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited to see her. Oh, and I'm actually gonna see her at the end of this month. But yeah, it's totally okay. And it's okay to like make new friends or just get close with other people that are, going through the same thing as you. And I know it's difficult. Like, it's obviously easier said than done to make new friends as an adult, especially depending on what you do for work, what kind of people you work with. But, there are things like Bumble BFF, Facebook groups. Like, there's ways through the internet that you can meet new people, and you just have to be okay with putting yourself out there. Or like even just going out places by yourself and just sitting there and putting your phone away and like just being open to making conversation with strangers. Obviously, like, be safe about it. But I feel like very grateful with what I do for work. Obviously, like, I work alone, but I meet new people all the time that are clients. And it's like I get to have a first date as they're sitting in my chair and I'm doing their hair and I can get to know them. And then, sometimes we click really well and then we end up hanging out outside of the salon and we become friends. Actually, the girl that I'm going to meet tonight, that's how we became friends. I started doing her hair. We had a lot in common. We followed each other on social media. Just discovered that we had even more in common. We like a lot of the same things. And she also is in my same age range and single, lives alone with a dog. So it's nice to have, like, obviously I love my friends that are married and have kids, but it's also nice to have some single friends that don't have kids. And I totally get that it's hard to not catch yourself comparing yourself to other people and your friends especially, and like where they are in life and all of that. But I just remind myself that is not my path. That's not my story. Like, my book looks different from theirs. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're happier than I am or that I'm happier than they are. But like, we're just different people living different lives and on different timelines, and you gotta just do what ultimately makes you happy. So I just did a little brown eyeliner. I really like this one. It's the Revlon Color Stay eyeliner, and it has like the little smudgy sponge tip, so you can apply a little bit. I like to just do like a really light hand with it and then just use the sponge tip to like flick out the end and smudge it a little bit. And it's in the shade Black Brown. I think a brown or a gray, depending on your skin tone. It just looks softer than just straight black. And then, oh my God, where did it go? This is like that viral mascara. I don't know if it's still viral now, but it was like a month or two ago. But the L'Oreal Extensionist mascara. Oh, L'Oreal Telescopic Extensionist. You know, I should have known, because L'Oreal Telescopic, that is one of the best mascaras still to this day. I remember when that first came out, I was like, this is incredible. So yeah, it makes sense. This is so freaking good because the wand has like these tiny little bristles that literally grab every single one of your lashes. And then you know how when you use a mascara, it always gets better over time, like after it dries out a little bit, you know? This is like that from the get-go. It's just a drier formula, so like it really grabs everything and it stays in place. And then it doesn't smudge or like make a mess or, you know, get all over the place. It is so good. Like, hands down, probably the best mascara I have ever tried. Now, the last face thing I'm gonna do is the Alamar Cosmetics Hydrating Complexion Trio. This little palette is amazing. This brightening powder, I love to use this and just press it like right here on the side of my nose. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is my brows, lips, and setting spray. Still using this Pixi Natural Brow Duo. Just like whatever little areas are kind of sparse. Okay, sorry, my battery died. I just finished doing my brows with the Pixi Brow Duo. I did a little brow gel, and then I sprayed some of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I'm gonna get dressed really quick, and I'll show you my outfit before I leave. I'm just wearing my black barrel jeans from Free People. And then this top, I found it at Kohl's on clearance in the juniors department. Thank you for getting ready with me, because now I actually am like really excited to go. And I just want to say to my single people out there, especially those of you who are 30 and up, not saying that once you get married or once you start having kids that like your life is over or your life is boring or you can't go out and have fun anymore. Like, of course not. But there's something about just being single and not having human children that just, I don't know, like to me, something about it feels so freeing and fun. My married friends, especially the ones with kids, they say it all the time. They're like, oh my God, like I miss the days when I was single and lived alone. Like I wish sometimes I could like go back and relive that. Don't waste this time by feeling sad. Bask in it. Make the most of it. Appreciate it. Have fun. Do things that make you feel good. And like focus on yourself and just making yourself feel like the best version of yourself, the hottest version of yourself. And I saw this thing on social media that was like, you know, you might be 37 and thinking back to life as like 25 and wishing you could go back and feeling like, you know, you're old or whatever. I can't remember the exact words, but essentially this is what it was saying, right? But it was like, instead, change your mindset. Like imagine instead you are 75 and you wake up and you're 37 again. Like how amazing would you feel, right? Like you would live every day to the fullest and take advantage of the body that you have. So think of it that way. I don't want to be in my 70s or my 80s and think back and be like, damn, you know, like that could have been a really fun time in my life, and instead I wasted it staying home and feeling sad and sorry for myself and like scrolling on dating apps, wasting my time talking with losers. But I need to go now. That was my little TED Talk. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for being along for the ride and doing life with me. I hope that you have an amazing week. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.